Okay, percent, millivolt, milliampere. Sorry. Okay. This is the theory, how the system in PWM works. You have time. You have, because is oh, sorry, in English, square wave. On, off, on, off, on, off. Okay? If you reduce this value, PWM parameters, frequency. Normally our frequency is standard, around 100, 120 Hertz. So this distance, the time between on and off is normally standard. What change? Change the milliampere. Okay? Full scale, full stroke means full ampere. Minimum scale means minimum ampere, and this is the current that the electronic give to the hydraulic proportional distributor. Okay, only for why I tell you this, because if you go on the plug and take a measurement in volt, you don't see nothing. 12 volt, finished story. If you want to have really what's happened in any movement on the plugs, you use in series the tester, the multimeter in milliampere to read if the current is moving from the electronic system to the electrovalves. Remember, do this with the plugs connected, not disconnected, because a lot of even my guys in Italy remove the plug. No, because you have no load. Okay, so what you read is false. Okay, complete. You open the cover of the plug, connect the plug. Okay, but I think that you never do that. You understand before. Okay. So what means this? Why I tell you in current? Because it's important to understand how adjust all these parameters. In this side we have maximum speed. It means the maximum opening of the spool. You can set from 0 and the maximum value is 2000 as a value. Okay? We have max for any direction. Minimum speed. What means minimum speed? Minimum is the current that you give when you start to move the lever. It must be not much higher because the machine starts to be nervous, but not too much lower because you have not the power for open the spool, because remember that the spool in that moment are under pressure. So the spool must have strong for moves. Okay. There are no values standard, or we have standard values to insert here, but it depends a lot of things. Okay, so for example, for me you have a small motor. The motor works with 4-5 liters, not more. Okay? So why you give a lot of current? You give a lot of the current, you give a lot of oil. So you understand when you will see or read our specification for any movement, we have pressure, we have liters, and we have time. Time in seconds. How many seconds the machine needs for open, close, down, up, and so on. In this case, when the machine works in a movement that has lower liters, you don't need to give current, so you can reduce this value, adjust this value. If you increase, you give more oil, and I speak about flow, and you increase the speed. If you reduce, you rallenta, slower.
It's lower.
Just lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Ramp, you know better than me what is ramp. Is time, is not current. The ramp in start, a ramp stop means the time that the delay that you have in the moment that you move the joystick and the moment when the movement starts to move. I prefer to have, for example, in the extension, keep the ramp shorter, because in stop. Why? You are on the cage, you are approaching to a window, for clean the window. If you have a long ramp in stop, if you release the joystick machine, carry on by itself, boom, and you shut the window. Same story for all the movements that change position. Okay, for example, rotation. Check the ramp in stop, because if it is too much higher, when you release, same story. Machine take a long time for stop itself.
If it's too short, can it cause damage to the machine for like?
Yeah.
Mechanical.
I was, he anticipate me.
Yeah.
Short, but not too much. Why? Because if you have a final speed, maximum, higher, and you reduce a lot the ramping stop, in the time you can damage the steering bearing or the motor, the gears inside. You go boom, boom. Is always true that we know this, and we make slopes. For example, when you are extended X meter with the boom, in automatic the machine reduce the speed. We call that slopes. Okay. When you are approaching to the limiting position, machine slow down. Okay, and this is all these parameters are here. For example, one by one. This is very important. Listen me. In this parameter, you can read some parameters from current loop, KP, K, I, limb, never touch. Must be not changed. You could change the full scale. What means the full scale? And this is the problem. The full scale is exactly how many milliampere you will give to the machine at the maximum. You can read 1000, 1003, 800. This is from 0 to the max. But the max is not this. The max is this. If you have here 2000 maximum, and here you read 800, your maximum current inside that the system give to the distributor will be 800 milliampere.
That's what you would use to set tortoise and hare. Like, if you were to set it at 50%, you'd call that tortoise mode. Like, the slower mode. So, if you put that at 50% of the maximum range there.
No, don't think in percent.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No. When you fix, when you decide this value, normally you never touch again. You can adjust the speed using only, guys, this number is not a value. In this case, is referring to a current, but it is a dimensional number. Is not is referring to the ampere, but if you keep this number by itself, it's not ampere, it's not a kilogram, it's nothing, it's a number. Is like your accelerator on your car. He give a number. This is very important.
This is a real value.
Okay? But why I want to speak? Because for me, for my experience, and this is the most important parameter that we have in the control of the distributor. And I have an example. Max and full scale. I put this example 1. Qua abbiamo 2000, 2000, and here we have 500. What it means that I can adjust the ampere from here to here. My maximum current will be half ampere. Okay? In a scale of 2000. But what's happened if I set the unit at the opposite? Look, I forgot. You are setting a speed. You are choosing parameters for setting your speed. 500, 2000. Something, why? I can do that. But what is the difference? Change example. Now is not a line. Now is this. This is the max. Okay?
Setting ini kita udah bisa.
Remember, 2000.
Setting ini
This
kita
is
udah bisa kan? Kan pasportnya. Waktu itu kan
full scale.
cuman bisa ganti, cuman ada beberapa yang nggak bisa diganti.
What you see?
Karena nggak dikasih full.
You see a different space. Okay? If I change and the full scale is so
Opposite.
think to this like a screen. When you buy a television, in the description, what you check? How many pixels? More the television is a pixel is a small space. Okay,
Accuracy.
resolution.
Definition.
If you have this condition is the best because the resolution you have a lot of points here for work inside here. The opposite, the same points are very. There are a lot of distance, and the machine. But when, not when you are moving the machine at the full. For example, when you are approaching at the slowdown, because the system what need to do for allow you to have a sweep movement, it needed to interpolate all the points for example, for reach the maximum speed to the minimum speed. If you reduce the pixel, our pixel is this distance from the maximum to the final speed. If you reduce the space and you reduce, you increase the space, but the points are always the same, you reduce this distance, you see, for example, the slope when you are raising the boom. We have angle and final speed, the slope, okay, the slowdown. 30 degrees before the maximum, the machine must to start the speed in automatic. If you have a lower resolution, you see the maximum speed, boom. If you have the good condition with a good resolution, the decreasing the slope will be sweet. This is the difference. Okay, so remember, this is theory. In practice, is we prefer to have the maximum always or equal one, for example, 1,000 and 1,000, or this superior respect this. Never make the opposite. I show this to my guys in factory when I try to explain something to my guys, and I simulate in one unit. The difference is you can validate this different, because if you make the opposite, I repeat, you have the maximum speed at one point, looks like on off, but must be no on off. A resolution, you have a lot, I repeat, in one small space, you have a lot of points where the system can work. If you have 1,000 points, is more than better where that's 10 points. No? This is only the important, remember. There is only, and I want to tell you this, only one case that is better to make the opposite. For the motor of the rotation of the cage. Meta, Moveco, okay? If you keep this value high and this value low, because the motor works few liters, can happen that if you swing completely in one side, the line is under pressure and keep 220 bars. If you have current lower, you have no power for move the cage in the other side. Here, for example, always I keep this value around 1,300 milliampere, and this value 600, 700, because you don't have slopes, you don't have nothing, you don't need to control. Only for this movement. For the rest, the rule is this. Okay, and when you will start to connect to the unit, we will see normally the machine all set in this. Remember, only for the resolution. For have a movement, a slow down, switch, and continue. Not 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay? And all these parameters are all slow down. For example, is it possible? It is possible that you don't find all enable. Probably, for example, for the rotation, you will find the range extension enable, moment limiter enable. This one no, because this is a we mean rod platform slow down, respect the position of the rotation of the cage. In this case, don't need, because the software is standard for all the units. Okay, so you will find unflagged. If you see flagged, you enable the slowdown. Okay, if you find this unflagged, -1 or is not working.
Like it.
Cool. For example, you will find percent of moment limiter. What means? You set with the boom completely closed, you set the speed of the rotation, okay? What's happened when you extend the boom and you are, for example, in limiting position? Machine is a set percent, okay? You cannot to extend the boom, you cannot to lower the boom, but you can swing.
Yeah.
But we want to swing the turret in a reduced speed. So, for example, begin CV pressure and CV pressure. What means? From 95% of the limiting position to 100%, begin must be 95%. In this 5%, the machine reduces the speed in automatic. How? It depends this value that you write here in percent. What means? I want that my slope in this condition must be 50% of the maximum. If my maximum is 2000, my final speed in slowdown will be the 50%, 1000. Okay? And this is thinked for all, clockwise, counterclockwise, boom up. For the boom, we have a slope when you are reaching the maximum before stop. When you start to go back, you can understand why. No? We start slowly, 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 and when we decide an angle, and slowly the machine tries to reach the maximum final speed in full speed. Remember the resolution. If I don't have a resolution, boom, boom, boom. No? Ok? E basta. Si mangia?
Sì.
Già pronto?
Yes, already.
Ok, guys,
Tell us.
do you want to have a lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.